Hello, my name is Muriel Davis. I am your presenter today, and I'm going to be discussing the subject of body dysmorphic disorder, or better known as BDD. Body dysmorphic disorder is a disorder that an individual becomes very compulsive and obsessive with perhaps a minor flaw or imaginary defect that they feel affects their physical appearance. All of us have perhaps something that we would like to change on our bodies, or something that we would like to perfect on our bodies, just for physical appearance. However, with BDD, it's a little more extreme than that, or I should say a lot more extreme. It's just an excessive compulsion, and it is so excessive, it is so compulsive that an individual can spend a large part of the day just peering into a mirror, viewing themselves time and time again. For example, a very emaciated young lady who is quite thin may look in the mirror and see herself as obese. That is a compulsive, excessive disorder, namely BDD, or body dysmorphic disorder. Researchers have been researching this for at least over 2 decades, and they have found that there are 2 primary possible reasons why this disorder occurs in individuals, but at this point they're still not real clear as to what causes BDD. They do recognize that it can be from a brain structure, which puts it in a neurological status. Or it could be genetic, whereas it could have been passed on from a previous family member who was diagnosed with the disorder. There are various ways that this disorder is treated, and one of the primary ways is through cognitive behavioral therapy. And generally with cognitive behavioral therapies, the client and the therapist, they work together to come up with a challenging treatment, whereas the individual does not concentrate on that disorder so much. In other words, a treatment approach where it decreases or reduces their excessiveness and their compulsion. One of the cognitive behavioral therapies that is commonly used is an ERP. And an ERP, cognitive behavioral therapy, is an exposure and response prevention. And this is where the therapist will use short stories that are based on the client's BDD, and consequently it focuses in on that flaw or defect that the individual is experiencing. The other is cognitive restructuring, which is where the imagined exposure is used to reduce the frequency and the magnitude of the individual's obsession. Then, of course, there are medications that are used to help subside or reduce the compulsion as well as the obsession that goes along with this disorder. And those common medications are called SSRIs. Those are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor antidepressants. And there has been much success in using the medication as well. Another source or approach that is used, many times the client that is suffering from this disorder excuse me, will request surgery to correct the disorder, to correct the flaw or defect. And again, keep in mind, it could be an imaginary defect. But surgery is a common way approach of use of taking care of this issue. Unfortunately, after surgery, over 70% of those individuals become very depressed, and they're generally more obsessive and excessive after post the surgery. Sometimes the therapist would find it necessary to use a combination of treatments in treating the disorder. Very commonly, CBT along with a serotonin reuptake inhibitor helps the client tremendously in reducing their obsession and their excessiveness. As I indicated earlier, researchers are still researching and probing to find more information that clearly identifies why certain individuals have this disorder. And the search does go on. And there is optimism that there will be a final, a more concrete answer to why certain individuals do have body dysmorphic disorder. And also, I would like to add that the disorder has no respect of persons. It can affect anybody. It can affect children and teens. It can affect young adults, middle age, senior age. It has no respect to the individual's perspective. It could be one who is on a social incline. It could be a politician or whoever. It doesn't matter what the intellect status is. BDD can affect anybody. Thank you.